Thank you all so much. Chief Eagle.
Today we have a small group of Troop 300 from Mount Vernon Methodist Church on Main Street. These gentlemen are our future leaders. They're currently working on the Citizenship in the Community Merit Badge, which is a required merit badge for the rank of Eagle Scout, which is the highest honor of the Scouts. These guys have put in numerous hours. They've each spent 8 hours working for a nonprofit doing charity work, put them to work. They've learned about city government and communities, how to be involved in the community, and they've really been working hard to work towards this merit badge. And one of the things they had to do was come and learn about city council and witness a meeting, be involved in a meeting, and learn about what you guys do for our city government. And so they're going to be back here watching, learning, taking notes, and learning about what you guys do for our community. Today I have Matthew and Michael Compton. They look just alike, twins. I've got Jacob McDaniel, Joshua Eagle, and 2 of our leaders, Randy McDaniel and Greg Compton, I'm sorry. And of course, y'all know me. I just switched uniforms tonight. I just switch uniforms depending on what I'm doing at the time. So we appreciate y'all having us and appreciate the work y'all do for our community and our citizens each and every day. Thank you.
Scoutmaster David Eagle, and to all of your Boy Scout and all of your supervisors, thank you all so much. And young men, great job. Great job. Mr. Vice Mayor.
I just want to say, in addition to watching us tonight, watch Mr. Eagle and look back at what he's done in the past few hours, past few days. He and the wonderful guys who work with him, not just in his department, but other in public safety, have risked their lives to keep us safe and keep our town right. So it's a perfect time for him to be down here tonight, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Proclamation for Screen-Free Week of 2012. I'd like to ask Ms. C.G. Moore, she will come forward, Education Outreach Coordinator for Get Fit Dan River Region. And I'm about to do something that may or may not make some young people happy, but I've already signed it. Proclamation, whereas youth 8 to 18 years of age spend an average of 7.5 hours a day viewing entertainment media on a variety of devices, including television, computers, video game consoles, and cell phones. And whereas screen time is a contributing factor in childhood obesity because it decreases the time children spend in physical activities, leads to increased caloric intake through snacking and eating meals in front of the TV, and influences children to make unhealthy food choices through exposure to food advertisements. And whereas Screen-Free Week is an annual celebration encouraging schools, families, and communities to turn off screens and explore other ways to spend free time together. And whereas Get Fit Danville Region is partnering with Virginia Foundation for Healthy Youth to engage local, regional, and state partners to promote 2012 Screen-Free Week. And whereas the Virginia Foundation for Healthy Youth is charged by the Virginia General Assembly with reducing and preventing childhood obesity across the Commonwealth. In addition, Get Fit is charged by the Danville Regional Foundation with reducing obesity among all residents within the Dan River region. And whereas during Screen-Free Week, schools, child care centers, faith-based organizations, after-school centers, and other partners will promote alternatives to screen time for children and families, such as instant recess activities and community events. Now, therefore, I, Sherman M. Thomas, Mayor, City of Danville, do hereby proclaim April 30th through May 6, 2012 as Screen-Free Week in Danville, and encourage families and friends to use this time to spend time together away from the screen. Given under my hand the 17th day of April 2012, Chairman Saunders, Mayor. Thank you very much for recognizing the obesity, other concerns in our city, our region, and we love to hear comments from you. Thank you, Mr. Moore.
First, I just want to say thank you for making April 30th through May 6th screen-free week. That's just one part of how we can help to reduce obesity here in our community. We really want to encourage everyone to take part and to participate in Screen-Free Week. We know it's going to be difficult for you to not watch television at all, but we want you to take time out of your busy schedule and spend time with your families and do something that's very active and very fun. And hopefully after that week is up, you continue to continually make it a habit and continue to do it. And also the T-shirts are 95210 T-shirts, and that's a message that we will be promoting during that week as well. 9 hours of sleep, 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, less than 2 hours of screen time, 1 hour of physical activity, and 0 sugary drinks. So again, thank you.
Thank you. I have a bag, but I don't have a shirt. Everyone else will have the shirts, and that's okay. You know, I've been on the book before, but it's all right.
Sorry about that. I'll get that to you.
I will take it back. Thank you for all you do. And we see you out there running, jogging, lifting weights, and doing all kinds of healthy things yourself.
Yes.
And thank you for being a prime example and a role model.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Shanks, thank you for sharing your T-shirts. I really appreciate that.
Landon, I thought it was just the price of being mayor.
Lost a
Well,
lot
only
of,
at the top, right?
lost a lot of weight.
Okay. Madam Clerk, Mr. Whitfield, will you please stand and remain standing, sir?
Mayor Saunders, during my absence to attend an ACGJA LAE conference in Cincinnati, Ohio, City Attorney Clark Whitfield was a guest speaker on March 14th at a constitutional law class. As expected, Clark's guest lecturer presentation generated high praise and very positive comments from ADJ students. Students found his discussion of the Sixth Amendment right to counsel quite interesting and educational. When the opportunity presents itself, please share the enclosed certificate of appreciation with Clark Whitfield. I look forward to a future occasion to invite City Attorney Whitfield for a return trip to a constitutional law class. Finally, Clark Whitfield is to be commended for his faithful service to the Administration of Justice Curriculum Advisory Committee. A recent letter of support from City Attorney Whitfield was instrumental in the college's approval of a new certificate in cybercrime investigation. Sincerely yours, John B. Wilt, Coordinator, ADJ Program.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We have so much talent in our city. We saw tonight our fire chief is also being a Boy Scout troop leader. Our city attorney was also a guest speaker this time in Ohio. By the way, he had no idea that tonight he'd be recognized. And sir, I present this to the American Criminal Justice Association, Lambda Alpha Epsilon appreciation certificate presented to Clark Whitfield as an expression of gratitude for accepting our invitation to perform as guest speaker. We thank you for sharing your valuable time and knowledge with us. Quinta T. Reed, President. Congratulations, sir. If you'd like to have some remarks, I never saw a lawyer who wasn't prepared to talk.
Nothing further at this time, Mr. Knight.
Okay, thank you, sir. Very, very kind. Very kind. Under communication, those who wish to speak on matters not just on the agenda will be heard at the time. If you wish to speak on any agenda item, you will be heard when that item is considered. Anyone who wishes to speak on any item not listed on the agenda. Yes, sir. And your name, please.
I am Reverend Lovelace, citizen of this great city, Danville,
Good
Virginia.
evening. Welcome.
Once again, I'm before City Council. My first visit with City Council, I asked City Council for $70,000 in helping me to open up Winslow Love and Care. But I'm back again. I'm asking City Council for $10,000. That's all that I would need to assure the daily operations of the nursing home, and that I completed everything. I have my business license from the city of Danville, and my zoning and occupancy, and all I need, and I'm asking city council if they could try to figure out some way or another wherein that they could let me have or loan me $10,000 because I put every dime that I have into the nursing home and remodeling it. Well, some had seen the nursing home before I purchased it, and that basically really was a dump. But no longer can we say that it is a dump and that it is a top quality building, and that I have everything in it that's been completed. I have my mattresses on over half of my beds in the nursing home, my blankets, everything, fire alarm system, nurse call buttons, everything is up and in operation. And I'm asking the city that they would reach out to me just for $10,000. And today, Reverend Davis and I, we was over there preparing the stand for the monument, because I'm renaming it back to Winslow, and the monument will have some history of the hospital on it, when it was built, and the day that it went, year that it closed up, and who it was named after, and all of that. And a lady came by, she said, I've been coming by watching this building. And she said, I was wondering, was it going to ever be a nursing or assisted living home again? And she asked me, she said, well, what is it going to be? I said, it's going to be assisted living. She said, you know, I have my aunt there in a nursing home in South Boston. She said, I just dropped my mother off from going there and visiting her. She said, it is so hard for me to go to South Boston and visit her. And she said, when you get it open, could my aunt be the first one to come into your nursing home? And I have another lady that walks by every day. She said, my daughter is up at Blue Ridge Nursing Home. And she said, I don't have any transportation. And she said, it's hard for me to get to Martinsville to try to see my daughter. And she said, once you open up, will you let me know? Because I want to bring my daughter from Martinsville and bring her down here where that she'll be close to me, where that I will be able to see her. Those are just a few of the stories that I've heard. And the last time I was here, Dr. Miller, he stated that he had to carry his wife out of town because there is no unit in Danville that caters to people with Alzheimer's. And not only am I catering to people with Alzheimer's, but I'm also opening up a daycare for families that is tired at home. They can't get away. They can't go out for any kind of relaxation or any kind of enjoyment because they have to stay at home with mother or father, sister or brother, because they're stricken with those type of diseases. And what I am doing, it's not something that's not in demand, but it's a facility that is in great demand from all of the research and the study that I've done. And also, and people are living longer, and Alzheimer's is one of our most dreaded diseases. And it is afflicting a lot of our citizens here in Danville. And I hope that the city council, that they will see fit to try to do something to help.
Thank you, Reverend Lovelace. I personally am not aware of council as a body making a grant or donating $10,000 to a single business. I am aware of the city would have certain incentives for people who invest in our city. And thank you for investing in our city. Thank you for bringing back the historic building. And I do wish you the best of luck in your assisted living plan. Have you submitted any type of business plan for this $10,000? I know you came before and you requested 70 or
I requested
$75,000.
$70,000, but I completed everything all the way down. You know, I came up with that money myself, and
So 75,000 is down to 10,000.
down to $10,000. You know, I have everything in the facility completed. You know, and all I need basically is just 10.
Have you written up or a business plan or anything at all in terms of specific or how the 10,000 would be used, should that become a consideration?
The $10,000, that will be used for the daily operation to guarantee that payroll will be met to the employees, you know, every week.
But have you put that in print as a proposal in a written format? What you just said, is that in a written proposal?
Yes, I can provide City Council with a written proposal, but I don't have it with me tonight.
Okay, but one has not been submitted.
One has not been submitted.
Okay, well, I hear what you're saying, 75,000 down to 10,000. Again, I'm not aware of the city making grants, but I don't know what city can do given the documentation meets certain guidelines. Question, comments, Dr. Moore?
No, I want to reemphasize this is very important. The Alzheimer's, we really did have to take my mother out of town because there was nobody to care for her here. So certainly a worthy cause. Thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Campbell?
I'd just like to ask Mr. King, in reference to the previous story of him coming down, could you just give us a follow-up or where things stand, the policy of the city could be explained to you, please?
I think it would be more appropriate for you to get that in writing.
Okay, go ahead. I could submit it in writing tomorrow, you know, to the city manager, either to the mayor, either one of you, or whichever one you want. I can submit it to you in writing.
It worked with the city manager.
I will submit it to
Other
you.
question or comment? Mr. Jones?
Have you took our time and met with our city manager? Because my suggestion would be to find some time and meet with the city manager with your written proposal, and so therefore he could help you iron out whatever needs to be ironed out. Have you met with the city manager yet?
No.
I would suggest that you possibly find time to meet with the city manager, and he or the deputy city manager would kind of guide you through the process.
Okay. And also, for those who have not seen it, I would love for you to just come by and look at it. The mayor, he's been by. The city manager's been by. Mr. Campbell, he's been by. You know, I mean, you know, it's not a rundown place. It's a place that, you know, if I had to go somewhere, that's where I want to go. Because I tried to fix it up in a way where that, you know, I might have Alzheimer's. That's where the place that I want to be at. You know, I fix it so that as if I'm living there myself. Because I feel like that even though they're stricken with that type of disease, that they should be treated with dignity, and they should live in a dignified place.
Okay. Other questions, comments for Reverend Lovelace? Do you have more, sir?
No.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else wish to speak on any item not listed on the agenda? Okay, minutes, approval of minutes, regular council meeting held on March the 20th, 2012. Is there a motion? Mr. Vice Mayor, second by Mr. Campbell. Discussion on the motion. Madam Clerk.
Reverend Campbell.
Aye.
Mr. Gilstrap. Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Luther.
Aye.
Dr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Raleigh.
Aye.
Mayor Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Shanks.
Aye.
Mr. Tillman.
Aye.
Citizen request to rezone 130-132 South Bridge Street from neighborhood commercial to central business commercial. I open a public hearing. Anyone wish to speak on this matter? Anyone wish to speak? I close the public hearing. Council, your pleasure. Mr. Shanks.
Yes, Mayor, I move for adoption of an ordinance rezoning from neighborhood commercial to conditional central business district commercial, 130 through 132 South Ridge Street.
Okay, second, Mr. Raleigh. Discussion on the motion. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Luther.
Aye.
Dr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Raleigh.
Aye.
Mayor Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Shanks.
Aye.
Mr. Tillman.
Aye.
Reverend Campbell.
Aye.
Mr. Gilstrap.
There is a request for special use permit to operate an auto auction at 4711 Riverside Drive. I open the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak? Anyone wish to speak? I close the public hearing. Council, your pleasure. Mr. Raleigh.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt an ordinance granting a special use permit to operate an auto auction in accordance with Article 3, Section C, Item 1 of the Code of the City of Danville, Virginia, 1986, as amended at 4711 Riverside Drive.
Okay, there a second? Mr. Campbell, discussion on the motion. Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Luca.
Aye.
Dr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Raleigh.
Aye.
Mayor Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Shanks.
Aye.
Mr. Tomer.
Aye.
Reverend Campbell.
Aye.
Mr. Gilstrap. Mr. Jones.
Aye.
There is a request for special use permit to authorize the attached dwelling at 301-305 Bellevue Street. I open the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak? Anyone wish to speak? Yes, sir. Your name, please.
Yeah, boy, I just want to say, I know the building needed remodeling when I bought it. And all of this is just going through the city council actually request me to do. Just get a dumpster and kind of haul it out. Remodel it and get it back in condition, which the water and all that got to be repaired and redone up to code.
Okay. Question for, is it Moyer or Moyer? Moyer. Question? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else wish to speak? Anyone else? I close the public hearing. Council, your pleasure. Mr. Jones.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt an ordinance granting a special use permit to authorize an attached dwelling in accordance with Article 3-E, Section C, Item 1 of the Code of the City of Danville, Virginia, 1986, as amended at 301-305 Bellevue Street.
Okay, second by Mr. Campbell. Discussion on the motion. Madam Clerk.
Dr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Raleigh.
Aye.
Mayor Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Shanks.
Aye.
Mr. Tomer.
Aye.
Reverend Campbell.
Aye.
Mr. Gilstrap. Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Luca.
Aye.
Consideration of request for a special use permit to operate an adult daycare facility at 2623 North Main Street. I open the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak? Anyone wish to speak? Close the public hearing. Council, your pleasure. Mr. Raleigh.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt an ordinance granting a special use permit to operate an adult daycare facility in accordance with Article 3M, Section C, Item 6 of the Code of the City of Danville, Virginia, 1986, as amended at 2623 North Main Street.
Second, Mr. Jones. Discussion on the motion. Mr. James.
Is there anyone from staff here? From the
Yes.
plan?
Okay. Welcome, Mr. Gilly.
Thank you.
We, Mr. Gill, we got, I think most everybody got letters from a neighbor that was concerned about some of the issues with developing the site. That's the next one. I'm sorry, we got two of these. My apologies, I'll have that on the next item.
All right.
You might want to have a seat on the front row.
I will this time.
Further discussion on the motion? Madam Clerk.
Mr. Raleigh.
Aye.
Mayor Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Shanks.
Aye.
Mr. Tomer.
Aye.
Reverend Campbell.
Aye.
Mr. Gilstrap. Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Luca.
Aye.
Dr. Miller.
Item E, consideration of request for a special use permit to operate a group home at 1403 North Main Street. I open the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak? Anyone wish to speak? I close the public hearing. Council, your pleasure. Mr. Campbell.
Mr. Mayor, I move for ordinance granting a special use permit for operating a group home in accordance with Article 3E, Section C, Item 9 of the Code of the City of Danville, Virginia, 1986, as amended at 1403 North Main Street.
Is there a second? Mr. Jones. Discussion on the motion. Mr. Shanks.
Yes. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
There was a family that owns property on Abbott Street, maybe a couple pieces of property, that has concerns about drainage and through traffic through the lot to Abbott Street. And one of the conditions I believe you have included in this would be on-site parking, which brings up the issue of drainage and landscaping and lighting and things like that. Is there going to be, and the reason why I bring this up is buffering would be a possible solution to some of this family's concerns. Is there any site plan requirement for this?
There will be a site plan requirement because they will have to provide parking. Currently, the site does not have the required off-site park or on-site parking. Excuse me. So at that time, we will look at the drainage issues, the landscaping, everything else that's required, the pavement. We also have stormwater control. The previous issue was there wasn't really that type of controls in place, but because of changes in the zoning code from 2004 on, anyone who does anything now has to make it meet our minimum standards. So we'll have a chance to put all that in.
Okay, I was by the site today, and I could see where drainage, if there was pavement involved, where drainage would be an issue, and I could see where landscaping, I assume the site plan ordinance will require landscaping as well.
It'll require landscaping, and we'll look at the stormwater also to make sure that the controls are in place because of the, now it's going to be a paved area where right now it's a non-paved area, so we'll have to do something to slow the water out, control it before it exits onto any adjacent properties.
Okay, thank you.
Further discussion, Mr. Vice Mayor?
I noticed this one did generate more negative responses than positive from people who were sent letters, and it was a split vote on the Planning Commission. Before we get into that specific, just to help me understand, the previous item was for an adult daycare facility. How does that differ from a group home?
The number of persons that are occupying the facility as well as the amount of time that they're available on site.
In other words, the second one, they can spend the night there?
Correct.
And the first one, it's only during the day?
They're only during certain hours. Yeah, certain hours during the day.
Okay. At the group home, what services are provided to these people as opposed to them staying somewhere else? Is this a treatment center, or is it just a place to live, or?
It could be either, depending on how the licensing agency and how the applicant goes through the process. Under our zoning definition, you can have either or, so long as you are licensed to the state and the state works on what they will allow you to do.
Well, I just noticed that New Hope was one of the property owners who opposed. And since no one's here tonight, I'm not going to put a whole lot of...
Someone is here.
From New Hope? Well, they didn't just come up and speak. What was the resolution of the majority of people who were opposed to this that got the Planning Commission to vote 4-2 in favor? I missed the meeting. I'm sorry. I don't have the minutes of the meeting. I don't know. Somebody swayed them to vote in favor. So, but there was a lot of significant opposition.
There was concern with Planning Commission over the concern that the neighbors had regarding the parking and how we're going to handle the site plan for it. We don't require the site plan up front because if council denies the special use permit, then that's a lot of money that someone has spent and not really getting anything out of it. So we require a site plan afterwards before we'll actually issue the permits to construct anything or occupy the facility. So at that point, Planning Commission debated back and forth on whether they should have the site plan or not. And they talked about tabling the request, and that's really where the vote came in, is they initially thought about holding on to it to give the applicant some more time to maybe work on some things and also go back and talk to the neighbors. And they decided to vote it ahead and hopefully work things out. Now, as you saw, we only had one person speak at the Planning Commission meeting in opposition to it, so I can't really say more than that.
Okay.
Mr. Vice Mayor, if you have a question specifically for New Hope, I will allow it.
Thank you. Even though the public hearing is closed, since there's someone here and they own considerable property around it, I would like to hear their feeling about it if that's possible.
Yes, sir. Your name, please?
I'm Eugene Stewart. I own the property, and I'm sorry I couldn't hear as well as I should probably have. I was here at the last meeting with the lady who was a little upset over some damage that had been done. I'm more than willing to accommodate her in any way to make any adjustments that would satisfy me as a good neighbor as well as the owner of a piece of property that I would like to develop. And I have brought this building 95% to the state of being inspected and ready to go. And I'm more than willing to do whatever is essential to being a good, within the law operator.
Mr. Vice Mayor?
So you own the building?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And some property across the street, several others?
No, I own that only piece of property there is the one that 1403 North Main.
Okay. All right. I misunderstood. I thought you were with New Hope.
No, I'm afraid I'm not familiar
Okay.
with New Hope.
All right. Thank you.
I'm Eugene Stewart.
I understand now.
Thank you, sir.
No further comment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. James?
Yes, Mr. Gilly. By not requiring any kind of site plan, it's hard to understand whether the neighborhood's concerns are being addressed or not.
Excuse me, Mr. Shank, man, could you pull your mic up a little bit?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no site plan required and he had pulled permits for his building renovation, shouldn't something have caused some concern about whether a site plan was required?
You can pull permits for building renovations without the need for a site plan. It's when you actually go to occupy the building and you're required to get the zoning clearance to get the business license and everything else, that we have checks in place that would catch that kind of thing. So the work that he's done could be just to stabilize the structure itself, and that doesn't require anything zoning related. When he goes to occupy it, it does. Now, again, the site plan is a kind of catch-22. We can require them up front and have people spend a lot of money, and then if they're not approved, they're out that. We looked at that as a cost of doing business. We try and lean more on the side of the businessman and say, okay, we'll go through this process. We know what our zoning code would allow and won't allow, and we feel that it adequately protects the neighborhood based on the way the code is now. And then once they submit and get their approvals, then we have that additional catch before we'll allow them to occupy, make sure that everything meets our minimum code standards. And the regulations have changed substantially. They've gotten stricter throughout the years, so we feel that we're adequately protecting the citizens.
This particular lot goes straight through from street to street.
Correct.
What kind of buffering is going to be required on the site plan on the back side of this lot?
On the back side where it abuts Abbott Street itself, you would have a 30-foot landscape buffer. You will probably have a driveway exiting onto it, because I don't believe, based on what we have, we'll be able to get the grades to work between the two. Then there will be your parking lot landscaping. Any dumpster that's in there would have to be screened. Any additional trees would have to be planted along the property lines. There's a long list of things that are going to have to go through. Curb and gutter, asphalt pavement, landscaping at the end of the rows of the parking spaces.
Will there be traffic through the lot from street to street?
We're not anticipating traffic going through from street to street.
Not even one way coming off one way?
We don't believe that there's sufficient room to get one-way traffic. Because the distance of the driveways have to be from property lines and everything else, we don't feel that we can make kind of a through connection.
So you believe that the city code with the landscaping and whatnot is sufficient to protect the neighborhood?
I believe with the additional parking requirements and the other sections of the city code, along with the stormwater management regulations, that yes, we have sufficient regulations in place to protect them.
Last question, Mayor. Has anyone, the gentleman, the applicant, has spent considerable money, I assume, on building renovations. Has there been any concern expressed, or has anybody advised him as to the cost of what you're talking about?
We have discussed it with him, told him that these are necessities. As he said, he's agreed to do whatever's necessary for his operation. I can only take him at his word and assume that is so.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Campbell?
I think that I was concerned about the safety. I think that has been addressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Mr. Raleigh?
Yes, sir, Mr. Gilly. On that parking, were you talking about the parking would be behind
Yes.
the home where it's wooded area now?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Further discussion? Thank you, Mr. Gilly. Madam Clerk?
Mayor Saunders?
Yes. Aye.
Mr. Shanks?
Aye.
Mr. Toma?
Aye.
Reverend Campbell?
Aye.
Mr. Gilstrap? Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Luther?
No.
Dr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Rawls?
No.
To amend Article 2, Section R, entitled Communication Towers and Antennas, the zoning code to increase the maximum directional or panel antenna height from 6 feet to 12 feet. I open the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak? Yes, ma'am. Your name, please?
Good evening, Mayor Saunders, councilors. My name is Lori Schweller. I'm an attorney with LeClaire Ryan in Charlottesville, and I represent Verizon Wireless. I'd like to thank Mr. Gilley for his help with this application. I think the application is self-explanatory, but I just wanted to mention that it was instigated by the company's need to replace certain antennas on the City of Danville water tower on South Boston Road to improve the service and to provide 4G service in the area. And I just wanted to let you know that I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Any question? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else wish to speak? Anyone else wish to speak? Close the public hearing. Council, your pleasure. Mr. Raleigh.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt an ordinance amending and reordaining Article 2 entitled General Regulation of Section R entitled Communication Towers and Antennas of Chapter 41 entitled Zoning Ordinance of the Code of the City of Danville to amend the height of antennas.
Second by Dr. Miller. Discussion on the motion. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Shanks?
Aye.
Mr. Toma?
Aye.
Reverend Campbell?
Aye.
Mr. Gilstrap? Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Luther?
Aye.
Dr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Raleigh?
Aye.
Mayor Saunders?
Aye. Okay, communication, Mr. Manager.
None this evening.
Okay, Mr. Attorney.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to remind the council and the citizens that our next council meeting will be on May 3rd, Thursday, May the 3rd, as opposed to Tuesday, May the 1st.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Nothing, sir.
Please call the roll.
Reverend Campbell?
Yes, just wanted to thank Troop 300 for coming, doing the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. It's a good educational experience for our youth. Also, I want to thank JTI for their $400,000 donation for the downtown fountain that will really beautify our community downtown. We're very appreciative for that. It was a wonderful week last weekend in Danville for the rugby tournament. A good turnout. I was glad to see the hotels filled. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Gilstrap? Mr. Jones?
Many people have seen this young man stand on our street corners with a Stop the Violence sign, Tim Griffith. This past weekend, several of us had the opportunity to go to Moffitt Memorial Baptist Church in the parking lot where he had several events. And our new chairperson for the Coalition for a Safe and Sound Danville, David Wilson, and so many others were there. Just want to compliment Mr. Griffin on all that he's doing. And also, it's getting warmer, and the street crimes unit is out there now, so we're just hoping everybody will be safe. We know that when school gets out, it tends to keep everybody somewhat busy. I also had the opportunity to attend several of the debates. Just want to say to the council members who are running for city council, I just want to say I appreciate you all for what you're doing. I also appreciate two things that you've said in both of your debates. One thing is what a great council we've had. And the second thing is the awesome job our city manager is doing and how transparent everything is. And I thought about that, Mr. King, when I was at the debate. I just want to say thank you because you've also assembled a great team. Besides you as the deputy city manager, many people in the city, when they're watching our telecast, they say the young man never says anything. I say he's smart. And then he also, Mr. Earl Reynolds. So I just want to thank you all so much for the council. Just want to remind everybody to please go out and vote on May the 1st. Your vote does count. And as I close, just want to say to Troop 300, we want to say thank you so much for what you did tonight. And to Dr. Davis and the Danville Public Schools, Dr. Davis, we received your letter in regards to our school system. And I know it's tough. I was on the school board. Just know that we're doing everything we possibly can. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor Luther?
Just like to go a little further with the troop tonight, and that's to speak again to our Chief of Fire Department, Eagle, who with many police officers, many of the members of the life-saving crew, many members of the public, all worked together when they had the major fire at Hilton Hall, one of the last standing landmarks of Dan River that was intact, and in fact was on the market to be used. We rezoned that a couple, 3 years ago for a very nice use for a home for the elderly. But that was a very dangerous fire. It attracted hundreds of people. The smoke was so dense You couldn't see your hand in front of your face, much less what was in front of you. And the biggest danger were the trains. The railroad was still running, and it took many officers to get the people off the tracks. And after we look back at how bad that fire was, how many people were involved, how many members of the public came up to witness it, and the absolute low injury rate that we had says nothing but good things about our city employees and our volunteers. And again, I want to thank Chief Eagle and everybody involved in that bad situation at Hilton Hall. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Miller?
I want to commend the scouts from my home church, Mount Vernon. When I was in the scouts, we became very good at starting fires, but nobody taught us how to put them out. So I assume you all are experts at how to put them out as well. Considering you're chief. The other thing, the screen-free weekend is not just for kids. The rise in obesity, hypertension, heart disease, diabetes in adults is directly attributable to what goes on in childhood. If we don't stop it there, it's not going to stop in adults. But adults need to turn off the screens and get out and exercise too. It's an epidemic right now. And finally, the Rugby on the River was just a great success. We heard compliment after compliment from all the players. They'd come from all over the world, Ireland, many schools from across the country. They'd come in, and to the man or woman, everybody talked to us how great a tournament Danville put on. They loved the hotels, they loved the restaurants, the events, the fields. We can do it right. We need to have more of those. So congratulations to the people that put that on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Brawley?
Mr. Mayor, I too would like to thank the Boy Scouts for coming and all you do. Good luck. That Eagle Scout is the best it can be. I know many Eagle Scouts, and they are top-notch people. The rugby tournament was great. Our Parks and Recreation Department did one heck of a job. I'm so proud of them. Danville Regional Foundation, Chamber of Commerce, Riverview Rotary. Proud of all of them. Also, I spent 29 years with Dan River Incorporated, and all 29 years I had an office somewhere in Hilton Hall, and I was there soon after that, just happened to be there soon after that fire started, and I can tell you our fire department and our public safety people saved many, many homes. I think we were lucky with the wind blowing in the right direction, thank goodness, but a lot of homes could have been destroyed in that fire. And I just commend them for their bravery and their expertise and how they handled that fire. And when I look at this T-shirt, Mr. Mayor, and it says 95210, I'm more of a 52203 kind of guy, so I've got some work to do.
Thank you.
Mr. Shanks?
I had just a couple of comments. I got to say about the fire, I happened to drive up right at the beginning when it was, the police were there and the fire department wasn't. And it was a scary scene. And I went on home, and later the rescue squad came by my house at a rapid pace. And my heart went to my knees. I was scared to death that one of the individuals helping to fight that fire or a public safety employee may have been injured. And I'm so happy that they weren't, but we must always keep in mind how close it is any day. And with that, I want to just say how much I appreciate our public safety and fire department. Congratulations to Danville Utilities. I'm fortunate enough to work with the Utility Commission, and they have been awarded, Danville Utilities has been awarded for the reliable public power provider for population areas like Danville, awarded by the American Public Power Association. And that was one reward that Danville Utilities got, and they also received the Safety Award, which I think they received that a couple of years ago as well. So Danville Utilities had a lot going on, and they're doing it well. So congratulations to them. Boy Scouts, you all represent the future of our city and our state and our country. I appreciate everything you do and your commitment to the Boy Scouts. And finally, I'd like to say the Danville Cancer Association's event last weekend before last, the Bridge to Bridge Marathon Run Walk, was well attended. There were a record crowd of over 500 participants. And Danville Cancer Association is doing a great job, and all the sponsors that helped them put that on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Tomer?
Yes, I'd like to also thank the Boy Scouts and welcome them here. I also want to thank and let the fire department, Chief Eagle, and the entire team there know how much we appreciate them as a city council. They've had several pretty large fires they've had to contend with in the past month. They've been absolutely professional and top-notch in everything that they've done. I really appreciate that. Also, I would like to encourage everyone to go out and vote, and wish all the candidates in this upcoming election, which is, I think, in 2 short weeks, the best of luck. And thank you, Mayor. That's all that I have.
Thank you.
Mayor Saunders?
I'd like to also thank Troop 300 from Mount Vernon Baptist Church, Methodist Church. And I want to say to Chief Eagle and all of the Boy Scouts, I too was a scout at one time, probably before all of you were born, to include Chief Eagle, okay? But I remember the work. And Dr. Miller, we did start fires, but they were controlled burns when we were a Boy Scout. So thank you all for all you do. We're very proud of you, and continue to come to our council meeting. Look forward to you also sitting around these tables, being in our state capitol, our nation capital, our president. You can do that. So very, very proud of all of you. And let me say to Mr. Stewart, I believe, sir, you need to come up. There was a lot of discussion about this matter that we voted on tonight, and I heard you say that you will do what's necessary to be a good neighbor. Thank you for that, and we look forward to you doing just that, okay? We do have confidence in you, okay? Trust in you, sir. Really appreciate that. I, too, enjoyed the rugby event last Saturday, and there was so much going on in our city, to include the Stop the Violence marches Councilman Jones had mentioned earlier. Just so many good things going on in our city, even during these tough times. All the economic indicators are beginning to start pointing up, okay? So it's time to start feeling a little better about ourselves, because all the indications are there, signs are there, evidence is there that things will continue to get better. No, we have not gotten there yet, but we are on our way. And let me say to all the council members, thank you so much for all that you do every single day. You know, it's not easy work, and the pay ain't that great, but you don't do it for the pay. You do it for the commitment. So thank you all for what you do, and thank the citizens for also supporting our city, and most especially our city employees. Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned.
Ooh, good.